Final segment. It is the Bloodline coming out. This was like an hour of entrance as Reigns comes out and calls the people of Utah idiots. Don't ruin this big night. Everything me and Rock have to say is important. It's information you need to understand. This is the greatest night in WWE ever. All time tonight, Salt Lake City. There are chants of Cody. Reigns says that's the guy who ruined everything. Tonight we fix it. Tonight we can state The Rock is a member of the Bloodline. And with that, The Rock's music plays and out comes Dwayne Johnson, complete with sunglasses and a vest right out of his 1999 wardrobe. I mean, just the biggest look of an asshole.
Oh, I was...
the sunglasses put it over the top.
Oh, I mean, it's this damn vest, dude. Like, it's the Versace vest. Somehow with the sleeves off now. It's as obnoxious as it was in 1998, maybe even more so because, I mean, we're in 2024. I mean, we knew The Rock obviously had turned heel, at that press conference. I guess I wasn't entirely anticipating a nostalgic throwback to 1998 Rock. I was already sold. I'm sorry?
I was like pretty tough. Like if you were to like map this out on paper, it's like, man, you're really going to be fighting this crowd. But
they were already cheering. Like I know like certain people were cheering Cody here, but like at least
there were a lot of Rocky chants.
Sounded like Rocky chants. So he became the biggest babyface in the building to some people tonight.
Yeah, it was like on this, like as soon as he got into the promo and he's just hitting the hits, it's like, man, this crowd's gonna eat this stuff up. So he gets into the ring and states that they have set a new indoor attendance record in the state of Utah. And they're like, yeah, that's great. We did it. He said it's the largest gathering of trailer park trash that The Rock has ever seen. Still, there were,
amazing.
And asks, are you sure you want to boo The Rock? Finally, you and your 50 wives are going to have a story to tell your 600 inbred grandchildren that you saw greatness in the flesh. And they're chanting Rocky. He said, you brought out a side of The Rock that you haven't seen in a long time, and then threatens to slap the herpes off a dude in the front row. He says the biggest main event in the history of WrestleMania was in your hands and you let it go. You flushed it down the toilet and then you all cried about Cody and asked, what is Cody's story? Roman beat his ass last year and he wants a rematch. That's his story. That's stupid logic. And compares it to the 49ers losing to the Chiefs on Sunday. They took their lumps like men. They moved on and didn't cry about finishing their story. Michael Jordan came here and crushed the dreams of the Utah Jazz. I was like, this is great. A full circle 1998 promo here from The Rock. Ended their story and the Jazz moved on. You fans are spoiled, entitled, crybaby bitches. And he's going to make sure Cody walks out of WrestleMania a loser. Our story is just beginning. We're the most dominant duo in sports, entertainment, and WWE, and goes to do his sign off, but says no more sing along. You lost that privilege, so enjoy the ride The Rock is taking you on. If you smell what the Bloodline is cooking, and they all put the ones up in the air to end the show. I thought this was first of all, it's very, very ambitious to try and push The Rock down this road in 2024. But my God, did this guy seem like he was having the time of his life doing this? And I would state that this was a crowd, like they got, like there were definitely the Rocky chants and like a nostalgia for The Rock playing heel in 2024. But I thought he had like a pretty good command here of this audience. But this is going to be a really tough battle to be going to different cities, like depending on his appearances, to keep this up, because it's just tough to book The Rock as a heel. Even this is ultimately going to be, I really feel strongly of like this Rock Reigns match at a date to be determined that this will happen. But for the next 2 months, like this is the direction.
I think this is going to be a tremendous success. I mean, it already has been a tremendous success. The fact is, whether or not people boo or cheer The Rock, I don't think it matters. It doesn't matter if they boo or cheer The Rock. I mean, we're going to be that much louder for everything because it's not just The Rock returning, it is 1998 Rock returning. It's a note that he hasn't, like, he's done several returns now at this point, but he's not hit this note, bring back the 1998, version of himself. And I think it's perfect. I mean, yes, people are going to cheer, but they will still, like, it's going to be fun to watch The Rock constantly insult these audiences that are loving him. That was always the character, right? He had to deal with this for years, when he was playing the asshole, but people were still cheering him, and The Rock would find ways to shut everybody down. It's going to be tremendously fun. Now, the challenge, I think, will be if he shares a stage with Seth Rollins and Cody Rhodes, for them to feel cooler than this version of The Rock, because this guy is going to potentially threaten both those guys as, being the biggest baby faces. So I'm sure Cody right now, especially, it's on him to come up with great material to rival not just celebrity, 50-year-old Dwayne Johnson. This is 1998 Rock. So I'm looking forward to it. Let me just say the other challenge here is going to be for Roman Reigns to not get swallowed up by this guy. Just even seeing him here, like, basically having to, like, fade into the background for a guy of, like, the status of, like, his cousin. It's going to be tremendously challenging, I think, for him to feel like the top guy amongst all this. And that might just come down to, like, better scripting, like good booking of like the actual segments themselves, certainly in the wrestling. But, like you mentioned, John, all of this, I think, is going to be served to create some sort of turn from perhaps Roman against the Rock, and maybe in the end it'll just kind of work out really well anyway. But I thought it was a very good segment, an incredible, like, return. Like, let's remember, all of this is a pivot. Like, they were supposed to do The Rock versus Roman Reigns, and they changed course to do this, and I this really was a wonderful pivot. I do have an issue with The Rock's logic, though. Like, all the comparison points to, like, the Jazz and I guess the Chiefs. Like, no, Cody didn't just, like, demand a rematch and he didn't just get it. He earned his way back. He earned his way back by winning the Rumble. So, like, it would be the equivalent of a basketball team going through the season and actually competing through the in playoffs to actually make it to the finals to challenge the Bulls again, right? But
he's a heel now. He doesn't need to subscribe to logic.
Right, I guess so.
Like, he beat him. Doesn't have to face him again.
Mm-hmm.
So, I thought he performed really well in this segment. I have the same kind of conclusion at the end with Roman at the end of this. Like, this was like the press conference. I mean, it's just the man takes total, like, center stage, left stage, right. Like, he takes the whole stage when he is out there. And it's, like, that is, like, what you are presenting here. It does give you, like, certain, like, this tag match, like, whatever you think of the tag match, I think there's a lot of really interesting ways of how you book that match and who gets the pinfall and what you set up. Like, there is, if you are doing this Cody or this Rock run, there's certainly the argument of at least having enough of a run with this character if you can get to a Rock Cody match that seems like the big match, even more so than, like, Cody and Roman. It's like the idea of Rock pinning Cody in that tag match, and then Cody wins the title, and you aim for a SummerSlam, for a Saudi Arabia. That's, to me, you get that match out of the way and before you exit this Rock heel run.
Now, at that point, though, are we really overlooking Reigns and Cody then? Like, would it not be more important to put heat on Roman, as, like, the big bad that Cody has to defeat?
Yeah, I just don't know. I'm going to have the same thought as we did last year about, you lose a second time.
Oh, no, I'm not suggesting, like, Roman beating Cody at Mania. I'm saying in the tag match, is it not more important to make Roman the sort of feature, or at the very least, like, that rivalry the feature? It could be Cody pinning Roman. That feels like the more traditional way that you book the end of that tag match.
If it's the night before, like, I want Roman losing once and it's for the title the next night. I wouldn't be doing it.
So then maybe it should be Roman pinning Cody to set the odds against him.
You could. I'm just, the idea of Rock pinning Cody and then Cody wins the title, that, like, just sets you up naturally for that match. And that should be a match that they go to if they can put that together.
Yeah, I guess my concern is that would it take away too much focus from like, Cody versus Roman being the rivalry? It also needs to, like, you're also demanding The Rock commit to a match whenever, right? Like what are those dates that he's available?
30 million in stock. You carve out a date for us. That's the answer.
But we're talking about Rock's next singles match. And if it took this long for him to come back for what is now ultimately a tag match, do you see him working anything but another WrestleMania? Can you see him showing up in either, I guess, Saudi?
I can see him doing Saudi Arabia. I definitely can see him doing Saudi Arabia.